Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Is algebra simple? I would say yes. And now let's look at it. We're just gonna go through these examples on the function, and this is related to my last video that I went over the function subject and the definition. But let's see how easy it is to solve the examples. So one type of the example will ask you to figure out if a relationship is actually a function. So is y a function of x in these three terms? And if you remember, we said that a function has a rule that it says for any input value, there should be only one or exactly one output value. So what we do here, we will just solve these equations for y as a function of x, and then we plot some points. We graph the function, and then we run the vertical line test to see if it's a function or not. So, but before doing that, I'll just go over what we see on each equation. Here, the y and x are both the first degree. So this tells me that this is a function of a line. So as we get more familiar with different kind of functions, it become easier to just guess right away before even you go to the details. This is a function of a line, and obviously any line would be a true function, because if you pass the vertical line, it will only cross it in one point. Now let's solve this one. So to solve that, I'm going to take the 5x to the other side of the equation, and the rule says that you have to flip the sign, right? So here we just divide both sides by 2. Y is 10 over 2 minus 5 over 2x, right? You can do that, and then 10 over 2 is obviously 5. So this is our function. Y equal 5 minus 5 over 2x. Now let's just give some points, x and y. I will give 0, obviously, that makes it much easier. So if you substitute x with a 0 in the function here, you'll get y is equal to 5. And then another good number is number 2, because when you substitute 2 here instead of x, these two cancel each other, and 5 minus 5 will give you 0. So y would be 0. And for plotting, for graphing a line, you only need 2 points, right? So let's put the graph here. And x is 0, y is 2. For x equal to 2, y is 5, let's say like here. So this will be a line passing through the 2 points. And if I run my vertical line test, let's do that with another color, I'll see that, it only crosses the function in 1 point. So this is a function. The answer is yes. Y is a function of x. Now let's go to the next one. Again, we have to solve y for x. So we say let's first bring y. We're just gonna switch the side, so that's not gonna change any signs. And then we'll take the cube root of both sides, so that's y equal to the cube root of x. Again, let's plot this with a couple of points. 0 is the easiest one. X, y. 0 for x give you 0 for y. Now, if you put 1 for x, you'll get 1 for y, right? And if you put negative 1 for x, because it's a cube root, you get negative 1 for y. Let's see how this will look so far. So I have 0 and 0. I have 1 and 1. So at this point, I have negative 1 and negative 1, which is this point. And if you see, first of all, this is a cube root. So if you're familiar with the graph of the, cube root or a square root, as here as x gets bigger, y gets bigger as well, but in a very slower rate. So for example, if I have 27 for x, let's say x is 27, and now y is third root of 27, and that is 3, right? So as x is getting way bigger to 27, y is only getting to 3. So that tells me that this function will look like that, right? X is getting bigger, but y is getting bigger in a very slower rate. But again, this is a function because anywhere that I put the vertical line, it will only cross it in one point. Now let's go to the last example. So I'm gonna solve again. Y for x, so it's minus x squared. And then just take the square root of both sides. Y is basically, so y is equal to plus minus actually 9 minus x squared. Okay, so let's plot this. And again, if you're familiar with the formula, this is a formula of a circle. But let's pretend that we don't know that. So I'll give x 0, obviously. So that will make y equal to plus 3, but also at the same time minus 3, right? Because 9 is 3, and then we have both plus minus. Now, what if we give 0 to y? So that says 9 minus x squared is equal to 0. So if you just square both sides, 9 minus x squared is equal to 0. So 9 is equal to x squared. X is equal to plus minus 3. Again, we have 3 and 0. We have negative 3 and 0. So here we know for sure that this is a circle, and so it's not a function. So we have a 3, we have a 3, we have a 3, we have a 3 here. Let's say these are 3. So this is a circle that passes through these points. And obviously, if I run my vertical line test, it will cross it in more than one point. So we say that this is not a function. Next, there's another type of examples on the function. And that's when you're given a function and you're asked to find the value of the function at a certain input. So we're given the function of f of x equal to a square root of x plus 2. Now the question is find f of 7. And I think this is the simplest type of example for function, because you just substitute your x with the value of input, right? So 7 plus 2, that's 9, which is plus minus 3. F of negative 2 is minus 2 plus 2, which is 0. And don't get scared if you see, instead of a number, you see, oh, a plus h. What am I going to do right now? You just substitute your x with a plus h plus 2. And that's it. There's, no more simplifying for that. It's that easy. This is, again, the vertical test, vertical line test, and you just run your vertical line and you say, okay, these are a function. Sorry, they didn't come out good. This one should be like that. And then here we say this is not a function, and obviously because it's crossing it in 2 points. There's another property for the function called one-to-one function. One-to-one function is a function that if you run a horizontal line test, it should only cross it in 1 point. So y is equal to x squared. I mean, this is kind of that, like that, right? This is not a one-to-one function because a horizontal line test will cross it in more than 1 point. And then what happened? We're missing our graph here. So this is also a one-to-one function. At last, I put a word problem because again, some people are very scared of word problem. How am I gonna, formulate a word problem? It's very easy. You just have to read sentence by sentence and try to, understand exactly what it says and just put it in formula. So hopefully this is not too small. You guys can see it. It says the amount of garbage, G, produced by a city with population P is given by a formula. G is equal to F of P. So G is the amount of garbage. And the next line says G is measured in tons per week. For any data you need a unit, right? So this is tons per week. And then P is the population in thousands of people. So each thousand of people is 1P. Now, A asking the town of Tola has a population of 40,000 and produces 13 tons of garbage each week. Express this information in terms of the function. So G is the amount of garbage tons per week. We have 13 equal to F of, and our P is 40,000, which is 40P, right? Because 1P is 1,000. So F of 40 is equal to 13. That's how we represent that. B is asking, explain the meaning of the statement F of 5 equal to 2. Well, this is now easy because we did the reverse, right? That means that a city that has 5,000 people or population of 5,000 produces 2 tons of garbage per week. This is garbage. And that's the meaning. They could be more complicated not more complicated, but it could be problems that you figure out the function and now you're supposed to solve it for a value, which is again, like these. So it shouldn't be really hard. Hope you enjoyed this course. Thank you so much. I'll see you in next videos.